Hey there, welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. The movie I'm reviewing today is called Haunted Mansion. This comedy slash mild horror movie is now released and available in theaters. The movie is rated PG-13 and is 2 hours and 3 minutes long. My Movie Review Mom grade is about a B. I enjoyed it, but it's not perfect. Let me tell you why. I'll give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked and didn't like, as well as offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, interesting lines, and recommendations for other films that I think you'll also like. So, in a nutshell, featuring the iconic attraction at Disneyland, this story is about a single mother and her son who move into a house only to discover it is haunted. They recruit the help of a tour guide, a psychic, a priest, and a historian, only to learn that there is so much more to the ghosts than anyone was prepared for. So there were a lot of things that I enjoyed about this movie. First of all, if you love the Haunted Mansion ride at Disneyland, I think that you're going to love a lot of the scenes that honor the spirit of that fan favorite attraction. So many Easter eggs to enjoy. The cast also includes reliable fan favorites such as Jared Leto, Jamie Lee Curtis, Owen Wilson, Danny DeVito, Tiffany Haddish, Lakeith Stanfield, and Rosario Dawson. We're also treated to the performance of the young Chase W. Dillon, who might be new to some viewers. At least he was for me. They all do a really great job. The sound effects that make the ghosts look truly ghostly worked really well to resemble what we see in the famous ride at the theme park. The name of the mansion, Gracie Manor, is to honor Yale Gracie, who was actually a Disney Imagineer who originated the illusion of the ghosts flying around the dining room of the mansion in the theme park ride. You know what I'm talking about? I actually had a very dear friend who was a Disney Imagineer for many years, and I'm so impressed with the creativity of those Imagineers. So anyway, a little fun fact, I thought that was pretty cool. There is a lot of humor with snarky dialogue and physical gags, and not all of it lands, but there is plenty of it, plenty to choose from. The film also does a really great job showcasing the unique vibe of New Orleans itself. This movie is very different from the 2003 movie called The Haunted House. That one was okay, but I think most fans were disappointed. In comparison, this one definitely has more of the Haunted Mansion uh, respectful shout outs to what we see in the ride. And this is a ride that is beloved and a favorite for so many people that go to Disneyland. The sound effects are actually really terrific in this movie. You really hear all of the creaks that you would expect in a haunted house. There's a lot of action, but it's blended well with touching moments and lots of heart too. Each of the characters gets the spotlight at least once and experiences some growth. And I always look for that and like that. That's very impressive for an ensemble cast with a lot of characters coming and going and in different places emotionally. Now, with all of that praise, there were a few things that I didn't like or just thought could have been done a little bit better or differently. For example, I think the movie is just too long. I can instantly think of some scenes that could have easily been shortened or omitted altogether. Some viewers are complaining that the movie isn't scary enough, but I disagree. Disneyland was originally created for families. So I don't think the film should be too scary or a horror or anything like that. Guillermo del Toro, the famous director, was originally involved in this film. And I think that if he had remained with the project, I have no doubt that this movie would have been scarier. He definitely leans to the dark. And while there are some scary moments, I think the movie is definitely lighthearted and family friendly enough. Now, I mentioned not all of the jokes land. The humor is hit and miss. While I mentioned that all of the characters are spotlighted, I think a lot of the very talented actors are underutilized. A lot of the action sequences are very chaotic. And my big question is, why wasn't this movie released closer to Halloween? So let me give you some tips for parents. There are some scary images for very young children. So watch the trailer and see what you think about that. That might give you a little bit of a heads up. There is some violence. There's a lot of destruction, lots of ghosts. Some of them skeleton-y and scary, and some of them just look like humans with flesh, but they're kind of like, an ethereal aura around them, kind of a thing. You might need to explain to your kids what a seance is, but you can definitely have good conversations with them about whether or not you believe ghosts or spirits are a real thing. So some of the other themes in the movie that are illustrated well are ghosts, life and death, grief, losing loved ones, being a hero, and moving on. So whenever I watch movies, I take notes and I write about the funny lines and the interesting lines that I hear, and I share them with you on my written review at moviereviewmom.com, so you can get a taste for the dialogue and the script writing quality. I'll share a few of the lines with you right now. So starting off with funny lines, there's a bartender and he says to one of the characters, "Why do I think you're having a bad day? Because you smell like yesterday." And that character is the lead character in the movie. And so we get to really experience what this particular character is going through. Now, Gabby is played by Rosario Dawson. She's the single mom that moves into the haunted house. And so she tells her son, "I'm going to light a vanilla candle and it's going to be a game changer." And I just thought that that was a cute line because I do that too. Now, Father Kent is a priest played by Owen Wilson, and he says, "One man's monster is another man's Halloween costume," which is another reason why I thought this movie would have been cute if it had come out, before Halloween. And then Tiffany Haddish plays this medium, a spiritual advisor, so to speak, the one that conducts the seances. And she says, "Addicts are historically terrifying." She has a lot of the really funny lines in the movie. Actually, almost everybody does have some humorous lines. And so that's kind of nice to spread it amongst all the characters. And then some interesting lines are one is spoken by Madame Leota, played by the fantastic Jamie Lee Curtis. And she plays a character you definitely have seen in the Haunted Mansion if you've gone on that ride. I don't want to give you any spoilers, but she says, wisely, "Death is not an ending, but a new beginning." Another character is played by Charity Jordan, who says, "I help people see things they can't always see." And that's absolutely true in this movie where it's about ghosts. And some people do have the ability to see them or hear them. And then another interesting and kind of sweet line was spoken by Father Kent, again played by Owen Wilson, the priest. And he says, "I'm going to cover us with some morning prayers." And I don't know that I had heard that expression before, to cover you with prayers. And he's talking about protecting them because there's creepy ghosts and bad ones and good ones and all of that. And anyway, I just like that sentiment of being covered spiritually with prayer. And I am a woman of faith. I believe in prayer and covering yourself with spiritual power, or dressing yourself in the armor of God and that kind of thing. So I like that line. It resonated with me and my beliefs. All right, so let me give you some recommendations for some other movies that I think you'll also enjoy if you like this one. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch that 2003 version of The Haunted Mansion. It's just a different perspective and you might enjoy it. Some people say they do like that first one better. So comment down below after you watch them and let me know what you think. Now, another movie that I watched many, many times with my kids growing up was the 1995 version of Casper, and where it's live action mixed with kind of ghost, well, not kind of ghosts, with ghosts, animated ghost kind of a thing. And it's very sweet, lots of humor, and a great introduction to scary things for little kids. My boys loved it. And then another one that I was thinking of is called The House with a Clock in Its Walls. Also kind of an introduction for children into scary things, ghosts, supernatural stuff, with some humor and fantastic acting and a great cast. So that's it for my review. I hope that if you watch this movie that you do get a kick out of it. Thank you so much for always supporting my channel. Anytime you subscribe or like the video or comment, it spreads magical fairy dust YouTube fairy dust all over my channel so more people can find it. And by the way, I've just started doing shorts. So check some of those out. That's where I try to give a review in 1 minute or less in a quick nutshell. All right, thank you. Have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.